Hello, Contract here from Lumpology.com, and welcome back. Today we're going to be continuing on our journey to make a Minecraft game in the Blender game engine. The good news today is you'll not need to download another texture pack. We're going to be using the same one that you downloaded in the last video, if you downloaded it, that is, if. So, first things first, today we're going to be making the actual terrain of the game, something we've been wanting to do for a while. We'll be covering a few blocks, but like bedrock, and we may even cover how to make chunk generation. Worlds will not be endless, and I'm just going to say that now. Well, let's start up the Minecraft.blend and get into it. So in the previous tutorial, we added in the title, and got all the GUI functioning. Got the first tutorial got the panoramic, most of the GUI, and in the last tutorial got this world button and the beginnings of our actual world. We got cloud movement, though we will make the cloud movement endless soon. Anyways, let us begin. Well, we don't need to use any more in this menu, so we're going to go from the title screen to the game screen. Welcome to the game screen. Last tutorial we got the clouds going, and we have our world border. Okay, we're going to select the camera and drag it up a bit, just to get it out of the way for now. In the center here, we're going to press Shift A, and we're going to add an empty, and it will be an arrows empty, and we're going to call it arrow. I didn't spell that correctly. Now in the description below you are going to have to download this one thing. It is going to be a Python script. I'm not going to make you code anything. Trust me. It'll be the track2.py. Just open it and you'll get this very simple script. I'll just enable these so you can see it better and determine for yourself. So first things first, we're going to need to copy what it says here, arrow, into the object. Nope. Control C, Control V, and name this arrow. You must name it arrow. You have to for this to work. Now, arrow doesn't need anything in particular on it. It's just kind of there. But there's more. So arrow's good where it is. We'll just leave it there. So Shift S, cursor to center, Shift A, and we're going to add a plane. I'm going to press S.5 to scale it down, and then press GY 0.5, GX 0.5. There we go. That'll just align it to a grid. What we're going to do in this tutorial is we're going to try to make 9 chunks. The grid, each chunk is going to be the size of our grid. And then center chunk is going to be here, and then we're going to line it with a set of 8 chunks. So what we've got here, we're going to rename our base. It's going to have its own, the vertex is going to be called base, and it's going to have a special material called bedrock. So this plane here is, as it shows, going to be bedrock. Now in the next panel we're going to add a texture that is going to be called blocks. Don't name it bedrock because it's not specifically going to be bedrock. In your texture packs folder we're going to grab the terrainbase.png and import it. I'm going to switch this panel here to this, to UV image editor, and we're going to go to the terrain base. I'm going to press tab, I'm going to press U, and I'm going to press unwrap. Now I'm going to S and press, actually now that it's unwrapped like so, it should be perfectly lined up with everything. So, let's see, if I press S.5, 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 we have the size of a block. I'm going to press N, and we're going to be using this specific vertex pixel thingamajammer to move it around. Now, because we've lined it up perfectly, we can move it pixel by pixel. So, where's bedrock? Bedrock is up there. So, I'm going to move it up. To zoom in a bit more. There we go. Here's bedrock. 1, 2. There we go. And it's lined up with bedrock. Tab out. And we can switch it back to the text editor. Now we're going to need a few things on this. So let's get started. I'm going to add a mouse, but I'm going to have to rename this mouse, and you have to do this. The text right here. Control C, Control V. I'm going to make it a positive and mouse over. Then I'm going to add a Python controller. I'm going to make it module and Control C, copy the name with Control C, and then Control V, put it in here, and take out the extension .py, leave the dot, or add a new one, and dot, and type in .main. And now we have it. And so this is the base. We have the object arrow and the base here. So when we say a track to .main, we're getting that definition that we have right here, definition main, and that will connect us with the script. It's also slightly more efficient than using the script part of the Python controller. So I'm going to tap File, Save. Remember, under the texture, do not unwrap, do not pack it as an image unless you absolutely want to. It'd be nice if we could have texture pack support. Now, if I press Shift D, I can copy this. Right-click to put it back to its location, and let's check the vertex. Base. Copy the base. I'm going to bring it back to base 1. I'm going to press G, Y, and I'm going to press 2. No, 1. 1. And that moves it over. So, if I select this one, and then Shift, select the other one, press Shift D to copy it. Do not press Control C and then press Control V. That will not work properly. Press G, X, 1, and then click, left click. You know, I'm not going to worry about this anymore. I can leave it. So we have the grid. I'm actually going to add something else to the grid, because creative mode needs to come into play. We need to prepare for stuff like that now. If a property equals on the camera, it'll have a property, it'll be in Boolean, and will be creative. I'm going to Control C it. Select the camera. Property creative equals true. Let's just test this. False. True. True. Yep, it can wait. For now, let's just get this grid. We can always add it later. And I mean that. We can always add it later. Shift D. G, Y, 2, click. Okay, there we go. Shift D, G, X, 2. This will take a bit of thinking. And it will take up a lot of space also. Shift D, right click, G, Y, 4. Shift D, right click, G, Y, X, 4. Press C to do what I'm doing now. Shift D, right click, G, X, Y, -8. Be careful not to select the chunk loader in the center. I mean the arrow. Don't select the arrow. Shift D, G, X, 2, -8. G, X, -8. Control Z, Control Z, Control Z. Let us fix this. Select it all. Leave no block untouched. Shift D, right click, G, X, -8. Right click. Okay, here we have it. Bedrock. And we only need one of these. We'll be using a chunk generator to replicate this. Now I think what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to shift select, actually with C. I'm going to select just select this layer. That one can be moved to layer 1. Now if I select this C and I select all of these, I'm going to move them to layer 3. Okay. Yep, there we go. Okay, so the arrow's back. And actually what we're going to do is we're going to select the arrow. I'm going to Shift A and I'm going to add a cube. I'm going to press S, 0.5. I'm then going to go to the modifiers panel. I'm going to add a wireframe. Here we go. I'm going to apply the wireframe. Press new and it's going to be the selector. I'll make the selector green. There. Shadeless. Okay. There we go. Now, let's see. I'm going to rename the object selector. I'm going to shift select the arrow. And I'm going to press Control P. And I'm going to set the parent. So now, when I move the arrow, the box moves. I'm going to shift select this layer here, go to the camera, and press P. And now, as you can see, because of the script, this has happened. And frankly, it's amazing. Now, it's not exactly what we're looking for yet, but it's a start. This tells us exactly where the selector is. I'm going to select our camera and decheck this. We're not going to be needing many debug properties in this. So, I'm going to move the camera down. I'm going to shift select everything around it. And let's take a look. File, save. I'm going to go straight from the title and see how it boots. Play. Okay. Tap single player, select our world, bingo. Something's not quite right though. It's missing something. Got to do probably with the fact that this is going right out. It's too big. Yeah. I wonder if I go to the game, what's the logic in this say? I'm going to select the arrow, I'm going to press S. I'm actually going to Alt-P, clear the parent from it, S.5. Alt-P, clear parent, S.5. Shift select this, no, this, shift select this, Control P, parent to object. Something's matter. Okay, so it's hovering over the grid, but it's not on the grid, so we need something to set that to the grid. I'm going to select just this piece over here, and I'm going to add a property. Like a boolean ground. See if that makes a diff. I do hope we don't have to undo all that. Object, game, copy logic bricks. No, copy physics property. Copy properties, ground. Ah yeah, there. Now they all have ground. I'm glad I remember how to do that. Okay. It didn't make a difference. Yep, we're going to start now off. I'm going to select the camera, and I'm going to remove the mouse over, the mouse movement and this hand controller and this. I'm actually also going to add a always and mouse decheck visible. So this is going to be our camera right here. Just double check. Good. So we're going to need to add a few things to it. I'm going to add a mouse with mouse movement, and we're going to call it mouse look. Make sure the name is spelled exactly like that. Add a Python controller. And we're going to need to open a text block. Link in the description to this text block. Take mouse look. You can find mouse look at this mouse look script was made by the amazing people at www.tutorialsforblender3. And you should go check them out because they're amazing. www.tutorialsforblender3d.com. Go check them out. Anyways, I'm going to bring the sensitivity value up to 10. There we go. I'm going to select the mouse look script, and I'm going to then add a mouse. No, not a mouse. A motion, and I'm going to call this one up, down, as it states in the script that it must be named. Let's just double check. Mouse look has a capital L. Just double check the spellings of things in the script. So let's see. Just a lot of this stuff isn't necessary. I've used the script many times in the past. Up, down. Good. Okay. So now what we're going to do on our view is I'm going to press, with the camera selected, Shift S cursor to selected, Shift A, and I'm going to add a cube. I'm going to go to the objects panel and I'm going to call this cube player. I'm going to, I'm just thinking, I'm going to scale the player. I'm going to render this player invisible and make it a character. Yeah. I'm going to press S, 0.5, and now I'm going to press S, 0.2, 8, how's that? 8 is a bit better, and I'm going to press S on the long side. Is going to, I'll just actually scale it with this. I'm going to make it scaling on the upside. It's going to be 2, no, 1. It's going to be 1.9. I'm going to put, then that's a bit tall now that I think about it. Considering everything's 0.5, that means it needs to be, 1 is actually 2, so I need to actually make it 0.9. There we go. G, Z. I'm actually just going to, because I'm going to set this to a wire model, select the camera, and I'm just going to move it up there. And then there, yeah, that's good. That's good by my standards. Shift, select the player, no, select the camera, Shift, select the player, press Control P, and parent the camera to the player. So now when I select the player, only the camera moves with it. On the player, however, we need some different logic. This logic is going to be in motion, and it's going to be called capital L, left, capital R, right. No space. Shift, select the camera, and I'm going to drag from the Python controller down into that. Okay, select the, I'll just select the player, P. I can look around. This is completely, but the thing up there is completely bugged out, and yeah, that's the whole of it. Well, let's see. I'm going to, with the player selected, add, by clicking this and pressing K, I'm going to add 5 keyboard sensors. This one's going to be called up. No need for special names. It's going to be the W key. I'm going to have down. It's going to be the down, the S key, positive. Left, A key, positive. Right, D key, positive, and jump. Spacebar, positive. What am I doing for time? Good. Okay, so I'm going to add an add controller to match up with each of those, and I'm going to wire them all in. Just because I'm a bit OCD about these things, I'm actually going to name each of these. It's always good for organizing. going to clicking this and pressing T will add in these. Now, a lot of you will probably remember from like other tutorials where they say because we're in character mode, we switch it to character motion, but we're not going to switch it to character motion. We're going to leave it at simple motion. You know why? Character motion is a directional motion type. Simple motion can be combined with other motion types to get diagonal directioning. Can't do that in character motion. So yeah. I'm going to select this once and move this, and there we go. Actually, now that I think about it, the player, I'm going to add another keyboard sensor, and this is going to be sprint. It's going to be, which one? Sprint? Shift. Left shift, yes. I remember now. It's also going to have an ant controller. It's going to be called sprint. Oh no, it's control. Sprinting is control, yeah. I'm actually going to add another motion then. In that case, okay, let's see. So, we have motioned up, y-axis, now motion down. I'm going to wire up into up. Down is on the negative y-axis. And then we have left. Left is on the negative x-axis. And then we have right, which is on the positive x-axis. Wire that in. And then we have, this one we need to switch to character motion, and then type in jump. And quick jump here. We will adjust the settings for that later. This one is going to be sprint, but the difference with the sprint one is down here. In sprint, you're going to need to wire up into that one also. I'm going to wire sprint in, I'm going to wire jump in, and sprint is going to be 2 ticks on the Y. Positive Y. File, save, insert, select, file, save again, play. As you can see, we can go diagonally, we can jump. It looks like a right amount of jumping. It does feel rather close. I feel like I should move the camera up just a tad. Camera's meant to technically be on top of the player, so move it slightly above the player there. Okay. 0 back, play. It's a little better. It's probably got something to do with the focal length, so I'm going to bring that back a bunch. It's a little better. A bit more. Focal length is a little better. Yeah, there we go. Now if I press Control, we go faster. There we go, and we can jump. I don't think that's enough height for jumping, but we can adjust it later, as always. And we can go diagonally by pressing multiple keys at the same time, so that's good. And we can move and jump at the same time. Good. However, if I walk off, I can jump in midair. Whatever. I can adjust that later. See how far the thing goes. Okay. Okay, so file, save. What we gonna do now? So that's basic player. I feel like there needs to be slightly more insensitivity on here. So I'm gonna bring it up to 5 at the end there. Not enough. 6. I suppose if you have a DPI shift like me, it makes a difference. Good. Oh, that's good. I'm actually going to bring this up to 8. That's a better sensitivity. Anyways, yeah, the DPI shift is a bit better now. Anyways, let's let's see. How am I going to fix this? It's a bit tricky, don't you think? Here is my thought. If I select the panel that these are in, and oh, don't tell me the player is. I'm gonna move the player with M to layer 1, and just press C and select all of these. I suppose I can press B and use box select. Basically now what I'm going to do is I'm going to press G, Z, 0.5. Or no, I'm going to bring them to 1. Let's give this a try. I'm a bit unsure myself. It's kind of about the hitboxes, isn't it? So moving it up 1 isn't actually going to do anything. So if I press GZ -1, then yeah, that'll make really no difference. So maybe, however, if I select this, press GZ 0.5, that aligning it with the grid, it's still kind of hovering above the grid, which is a bit awkward, if you know what I mean. But it seems to be the right size, it's just kind of above the grid. So yeah, let's see. I'm going to toggle the system console to see what it... Oh, it's completely clean system console. Wow, that's rare for me. All my games have a very cluttered system console. I'm just gonna... Yeah, okay. File. Save. File. Save. Start from the title. Give this a try. I'll save. I'm gonna start it and see what happens. Oh, another thing I do want to end up doing in the end is adding debug mode, a popular Minecraft thing. And it won't look like this in the final game. That's only what happens when you run it in the standalone. It automatically adds in maps. When we actually render the standalone, it won't look like this. But anyways, it's good. It's a bit. It increases size a bit, but I think that's fine. Probably test to see how long it takes all the clouds. Really, that is really bad. Wow. I'm trying to think what to do about this selector. There's not much many details about the selector right now. Oops, today. Falling. No. I need a death screen also, and we'll have to add a lot of stuff in. But on the overall, I'm just trying to think about this. One must be very strategic when doing stuff like this. Think, counter, Heidi. Let's give this a try. I wonder if I'll speed up this tutorial to like half the speed. My voice would be all messed up. This is a very tricky one. I'll admit it is tricky. If I press tab, and then if I go to this first layer where all of these are, select everything, and I go to the vertex menu, I can probably do something like object constraints, track, parent. There's gotta be something like convert to mesh item. I don't know. I really don't know. There's gotta be a quick way to do this, so comment down below if you think you know how to fix this problem. If you know what the problem is, that is if there's no like set all, so select linked. Yeah, it's a bit tricky, say the least. Oh, okay. Think. I don't know. It's so complicated. It's not that complicated. It's just you don't know the answer. Okay. Say, I wonder if I was to, in edit mode, GZ1, move the actual plane above. Actually, now that I think about it, if I undo that, what kind of bounding box does this thing have? Spawns above, so there must be some form of collision glitch, perhaps. Yes, no collision may equal success. File save, P to play. What did I just do? Play. Apparently I'm bad at just solving stuff, so that didn't work at all. Why would it? I don't expect it to. We need to change the selector. It's not the right one. Minecraft doesn't have a selector like this. In the next video, I'm Contra and don't forget to leave a like and subscribe, and in the next video we'll be solving a few of these bug errors, and we'll be making it so you can add blocks in. I've got to do some testing, so I will see you later. Goodbye.